Hey fam, so want to get a little bit more real on this video because there's a lot of information I got to share with you. So first off, I want to just bust out and just make sure you understand this video is a little bit more serious. The content that I've got on this post is super serious. All right, so just understand that I'm sharing this with you so that you see what exactly is really out there, what these platforms are actually doing on their own without really caring about the consequences toward you and me, but also some people who we really care about, which is our kids. And I know there's folks out there that want to make this a partisan thing. That's totally fine. That's totally up to you. The cognitive dissonance is almost like it's palpable, and folks just don't understand. You can only yell and scream out a couple names for so long before you just got to actually start asking some questions. And you know, that's completely people's prerogatives, whatever. So I'm not going to get into that. But this is what I do want to get into. I want you to understand some basic things about what you're seeing, why you're seeing, and how it's impacting you and our society right now. There's been a directed push since the 1960s of destabilizing this nation. And me and understanding just how my mind works, I'm an engineer, I can't help myself. But I start putting stuff together. So the 60s was actually a pretty formative time for our nation. I mean, from black rights, women's rights, I mean, everything, everybody's rights and stuff. This actually was a good thing because this nation, it needed it, okay? This is what's called, forming a more perfect union. It's part of it, okay? This place is not perfect, okay? But you're trying to go toward that every single day. Well, in doing so, there was a push from Europe, from Russia, okay? And that's gonna sound crazy when I say this, but the truth is, they actually had points that they were trying to accomplish within our government, within our nation, within our society, to destabilize our society and to change it. And you're seeing the effects of it right now because of our education system, the public school system, and even in other places as well too. Now, I'm gonna give you something, I'm gonna drop some stuff in for you real quick, and you need to actually research this yourself. In the 1960s, an idea was put out in South America via some Catholic priests about liberation theology. Liberation theology is a method and means of equalizing society via religion, via the Christian faith, but it's all about Marxism, okay? Now, liberation theology, black liberation theology, these are complete heresies. These are stuff that's complete crap. You ever get involved with it, understand that the people who are pushing it on you, they have ideas and beliefs that are completely communist. These people are communists, they're socialists, and they desire to use religion for their own purposes. That, you need to understand that, okay? Now, that was spread to this nation and came basically up through the border and stuff like that, and spread as a theology here, and has been actually preached in black churches. It's been preached in Hispanic churches as well too, Catholic churches, and now it's become part of the mainstream. Know the deal, okay? When you look at the 45 points of a communist takeover of America, a part of it is destabilizing the faith of God, faith in God, okay? The Christian church. That was a part of it. This is a part of it. Liberation theology is a part of it because it's Marxist, it's communist, and it's ideology. But know this too. The communist Marxists had a whole nother goal as well, which is pushing sexuality and obscenity right through every single aspect of American culture. Now, if you understand that, you'll get why so much of our society has been pushed and geared towards sex, because sex in the imagination is something that can go toward really depraved things. But more so, when it's pushed onto kids, you take on a whole nother level of evil. And that's why you're seeing what's happening right now in a lot of people, and a lot of kids, for reasons that you cannot put your hand and your finger on. Now, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this, what sexuality and sexualization of children actually does, okay? The original purpose was to sexualize boys. That's what, a part of growing up as a boy is, I mean, this is something that women may not know, but it's who's got the Playboy? Who's got the magazine? Who's got the dirty magazine? And you expose little kids to that. I was exposed at a very young age, about 6 years old. But by that time, I'd already been molested as well too. So being exposed at that level, that changes a child's the brain wiring. That actually changes the wiring in their mind. Now, what happens here? When you introduce little boys to sexual content, it is a means to desensitize them and drive them towards chaos. Now, chaos is what men actually are, okay? On the inside, we are what you would call not organized, but more tamed, okay? Men are tamed chaos. Little boys, little kids, young men, they're still chaos. But a young guy becomes a man when their chaos is tamed. spiritually, sexually, mentally, relationally, all that stuff. It becomes tamed. Now I'm gonna tell this, there's no disparagement against you ladies who are raising young men, but men have to step up to raise young boys, to become men. That's a big part of this. You cannot do it on your own. This is why, men are created, women are created, because you need each other. And men and women help to do that. That's why the black family has been destroyed from the 1960s on. Okay, is you eliminate the male in the family, what happens? You have a bunch of young black guys running around who are not men yet. They've not been trained to be men because men have not stepped in, because men were removed from the family and we're taking responsibility for the kids. That's basically what happened. So that's what happened, okay? So understand that. That's what this sexualization of boys is. It is to drive them towards chaos. Now, there was a different intent for little girls. The purpose for little girls is to sexualize, and sexual content was and is to create insecurity. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. For little boys is to drive little boys toward chaos, but it's to drive little girls towards insecurity. Now the intent was to expand to little girls, because remember, porn and stuff was something that was regular with little boys and with men. Well, the statistics are they're actually growing with women. Like 1 in 6 or 1 in 5 women is addicted to porn. Now why is that? It's because they've been desensitized as well too. They've also been brought into this whole area of insecurity. The intent was to expand to little girls. This time was to expand the idea of what is allowable, okay? What a little girl will allow with their body, with a little boy or another little girl, another woman or another man to do to them with their body. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to expand the boundaries of what little girls will allow to their bodies, okay? The intent of boys was to normalize sexual acts through porn. This to normalize it. Little girls is to normalize what little girls will allow to their body. That's the evil in what porn actually has become. And I'm telling you this, okay? You need to understand these things. When little boys, little girls are exposed to this stuff, it is a detriment to them mentally, spiritually, psychologically, relationally, everything. It'll destroy them. The point is to deprave the young imagination and create physical, psychological, and emotional bondage that leads away from spiritual freedom. That's the truth, okay? Because you can break a kid's spirit easily by introducing all this stuff to them. But do you really know what that means, okay? So, and I want to tell you just something just for the guys out there, because I'm about to get into something real deep. This is one of the things that drove me away from porn was this one thought came into my mind. Do I really believe that disclaimer that says all these actresses are 18 years old? And when that hit me, there was a whole nother battle when I cannot be watching this crap, okay? And that's what I first went through about 14 years ago, when I realized that my addiction into that stuff was terrible, because I may not be looking at people who are adults. And that completely changed, because why am I gonna trust somebody that would do that anyway? It just wasn't what I should be doing, okay? And you understand that was where the beginning of my issue with it was, after I became a Christian, and then stuff started changing. Well, when you understand what the communism actually is, an obscenity, when you drive little kids and little girls into the sexualization of their minds, their hearts, their thoughts, and their soul, you take on a whole different realm of evil. And the attachments that I have on this post are going to show you where this evil has been spread. You're going to see through the World Health Organization what they've done in Europe. You're going to see what some colleges and some school districts have actually been using in their curriculum about sexualization of infants. I mean, I want to punch some of these people in the freaking face, dude. Like, this is disgusting. Little kids at 4 years old and younger don't need to know about this crap, man. You don't teach little kids how to masturbate. What the hell, dude? Like, who does that? But somebody who's sick does that. But that's what depravity actually is, because those are the points that came out of communism and what they want to do to the nation. They want to destroy young people, indoctrinate them to believe things that are completely ridiculous about our history, but also ridiculous about themselves. This is what the drive is. Now, this is also what I'm going to point to you too, okay? The normalization of pedophilia, you're going to see in another photo on this thing, you're going to see that through NAMBLA, and that's going to lead you to some really crazy places you start discovering. But this is going to be the worst place that you go to, because I got to post this up so that you see it. All right, the last image that I'm going to put on here is, these are Twitter hashtags. Now, it took me about 2-3 days to get normal after what I saw in one thing that I looked at. This is the baguettes one, and immediately the image that came up, the video, it jacked me up, and I just thought, like, cut off everything. If you decide to go and to look into these hashtags, understand this. This is what the whole drive is in these platforms, is to sexualize children. Understand this too. When you're giving your kid an iPad, you're letting them play video games unsupervised. You're letting them go and use all these devices, whether it be their iPhones or Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Twitter's disgusting, okay? I'm not even gonna get into Twitter, okay? But these hashtags are all Twitter. Twitter is openly allowing pedophiles to use their platforms to spread child porn. Straight up. Straight freaking up, okay? The only way you're gonna believe that is if you actually go and look. And then when you look though, you're gonna discover stuff that you didn't wanna see. So if you decide to go in, I'm telling you, this is a freaking disclaimer. Don't go in like thinking this is a joke. This is not a freaking joke. This is real. And what's out there right now, this is disgusting. And you as a parent, you as an adult, understand that there's a lot of things out there that are evil. But this is a part of the reason why I've told you before that I believe BLM, Antifa, these are all just communist organizations trying to take over the nation because they're trying to cover over the pedophilia. But the pedophilia is coming out and people are finding out about it. And you can be for whatever, political party you want and whatever, they claim this person or that person. I just want to know the dang truth, dude. Just give me the freaking truth. Okay? The truth needs to come out about this stuff because kids' lives, their souls, their spirits are more important than your dang politics. And that's just straight up real. And I've had to deal with it in the church, and believe me, there's people dealing with the church right now that you don't even know about. And they're taking care of their business, okay, for real. But understand this too, okay? There's a lot of folks on that couch who are over it. They see what's going on, they know what's happening, and they understand that there's evil out there. And they understand that what they're seeing is a farce. These movements, they're a farce. They're not about social, civil rights. They're about social justice. They're communists. And there's real people out there who want things to change socially, have a really legitimate desires. But they've been co-opted by freaking pedophiles, communists, and liars. Understand that, and people know it. And you feel it, you understand it, okay? Be safe on the streets. Understand this. If you go looking, it's going to change your life. It's going to change what you think. Be prepared, or else have somebody else do it for you. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind. Take care.